Our next speaker knows this intimately because she is from the medical world. She has watched degenerative disease from the inside out. She made her living off of sick people for a long, long time. She introduces herself as a recovering medical professional. She's been one of the greatest blessings in my business. The professionalism and the level of personal development she had already had before she came to this industry and to this company and to the vision of Dr. Wentz has been really, really fun to partner with her. I'll let her tell you a little bit more about the details of her really intricate sales world in the medical world. What I do want you to know is she has this website called Fierce Vibrant You. She has a business called Fierce Vibrant You, and she's using USANA all the way through that to radically make changes in people's lives. So how many people do you know that around 2013, moving into 2014, were signing up for changes? Writing them down. This is what I'm going to change this year. She is a master at assisting you to do that. So please welcome my teammate, good friend, Janine Karlsen.
I would love that better. Actually, thank you. So I'm going to talk a little bit about, I'm going to talk almost all about Fierce Vibrant You. Karen's going to try to get that projector off so it's not shining on my eyes. So I'm Janine Karlsen, and I'm a USANA associate. And I had particular things happen in my life that actually brought me to the place where I decided to create Fierce Vibrant You. And it really grew out of my USANA discoveries, basically. But I'm interested, before I tell you about what it meant for me, I would love to hear a little bit from you guys. When you hear the word fierce, what are some of the words that come up for you? What do you think it means? What does it stand for?
Powerhouse.
Powerhouse, excellent. Any other words?
Streamline.
Lions.
Streamline, lion,
Strength.
strength, unrelenting, perfect. Those are words that are really strong and really powerful and really evocative, which is part of why I chose the word. For me, though, what happened was I was looking at it and I knew I wanted something that was going to be called something vibrant you. I knew I wanted the vibrant part and I knew it was all about you. And so I kept searching and searching for the right word, and I finally came across the definition that just jumped out for me around fierce. And what it said was to boldly and without compromise go after a goal, a dream, or a desire.
Mm-hmm.
And that was exactly what I wanted to talk about. That was exactly how I wanted to work with people. And so for me, what had happened was that, as Karen mentioned, I was in the medical world for a long time. I started as a nurse back in the late 80s, early 90s, so 20 plus years in the medical world. I moved out into sales and equipment stuff, selling stuff to hospitals, and then eventually I was lured away into management. That was interesting. And in my mid-40s, I sort of looked around and thought, you know what, the things that brought me into nursing in the first place as a starry-eyed 18-year-old were no longer there for me in this world. I talk about how healthcare is so challenging now, especially for the people inside, that it can be soul-destroying for them because most of them are there to help, and they're so limited in what they can do. And so I really started looking around, and that was coupled with the health crisis that I went through myself. I was hit by a car walking my dog. My dog is actually fine. She's hidden in the back corner of this room. But I broke my leg and smashed my back up really badly. And I was having a hard time getting better. But what that triggered for me was a search. It really kind of brought me out of my complacency and said, you need to do something different. This is not working. And so with that, I started searching and searching. And I was willing to look at almost anything. And at that time, USANA showed up for me. And it was unbelievable to me how I could build a business. Now remember, I've been in the business world for a long time. I've been very, very successful. I made a lot of money in sales. When I looked at the business model, I just thought, why doesn't everybody do this? It makes so much sense. So I moved into USANA. And as I did USANA stuff, I was learning and growing. And last year, they did this big Reset Challenge thing, just like they're doing now. And I developed a whole program. And what came out of that was I actually had some of my customers that I worked with who asked if they could coach with me, if I would do coaching with them because they really loved how we worked together around them achieving their goals around weight loss at that time. And that's where Fierce Vibrant You came from. And so for me, it was definitely a decision to step into a new kind of life that is based with USANA as the foundation, and then what I can do to be with people around that and affect changes in their lives or facilitate the changes that they want to make in their lives. So there's a couple key tenets, and my website is almost up. Such an entrepreneurial cliche, but it is almost ready. So you will eventually be able to look at my website. But I'm going to give you a sneak peek. There's a couple key things. One of the first pages talks about, the slogan on there is "Make your someday now." What that's talking about, and it may not be as present if you're still young, but for some of us that are in our mid-40s, there are dreams and goals that have been around for a little while, but we shelved them. We put them aside for all the right reasons. It might be because we're really busy, our kids need us. It might be because of trying to make enough money to buy a house in Vancouver. For whatever reason, there are dreams and desires that we have not been able to get to. And those are the pieces that I want to work with. That's the stuff I want to pull out for people. So if you were to think of some dreams right now, I want to hear some of them. What are some of the things you dream about? Give me some. Jan.
Become a global professional dancer.
Nice. That is an awesome dream. What are some other dreams that you might have?
Making a feature film.
Making a future film?
Feature.
Nice. I love that. And getting a Jeep, I heard up here. That is so great. And yes?
Watching every Formula One race for 1 year in the city that it's in.
Wow, that would be so cool.
Every 4 minutes.
Nice. And some of these things might even be small. Some people that I talk to, their dream is to just get 15 minutes of peace and quiet on their own every day. And they are so serious, and they can't figure it out. They can't figure out how to do that. So what we want to do, and what I want to do with them, is basically wake up those dreams. And I realized when I was thinking about this today, that is a lot of what we do with USANA. So when we start talking to associates or people that are interested in a business, we start talking to them a lot about what are their dreams? What do you want to do that you haven't been able to find a way to? And so it's exactly the same process that I'm engaging in with people around their dreams. That's what we do in USANA all the time. And then one of the things that I brought into play a lot last year around how I worked with my people with the Reset Challenge, and that was around presence, awareness, and connection. And so those things are really key. The last piece that was probably the greatest, but the least tangible, was an invitation to their own greatness. And I realized when I was working with people, I had people saying to me, I really like how you talk with me. I really like how you see me, how you regard me. And I was trying to get a handle on, well, what is that? What is it they're talking about? But what I realized is that I have always been completely struck by how remarkable you are. And when I am with people, it comes out. And that's the part I talk to. And then they get a little glimpse of the part of them that I'm talking to, and they go, oh, I'm kind of remarkable. And so they notice that, and that's what we build on. But the key part to that is that it's often in connection that we get those things. It is in relationship with others that we get those things. If you're all by yourself in your house, it's hard to break free of the thoughts you have in your head about who you are. And so when you're actually with other people, and last year what was interesting is it was as simple as a Facebook community. So for our group of people that we were doing the Reset Challenge with, we had a Facebook community, and I watched the interactions between somebody that was saying, I'm having a really bad day, I just want to go and eat a bag of chips and drink a whole bunch of pop. And somebody else would get on right away and say, you know what, bake a yam, put a little bit of coconut oil on it, and sprinkle some sea salt. It's going to help all your cravings, so you're going to feel so good about it. And you could just see the person who asked for help felt so good that they had asked for some help. I mean, how many times do we think we can't ask for help? And then the person who got to offer the support went, wow, I have something to give. And so as simple as a Facebook community. So I'm telling you, anybody that's looking at doing the reset thing, you want to actually create some kind of community around yourself. If you're running a program for people like Howard, for you and your group, you probably already have a community set up where people can communicate and support each other. It's a beautiful way to reinforce for each person what they have to give, and it's a wonderful way to receive that support. We all need to spend a little bit more time with ourselves. We have so much time that we dedicate to kids, to family, to jobs. We need to spend a little more time with ourselves so we can get to know what's going on in here. And there's a lot. Sometimes at first there's so much going on in there that you can't really keep track and it's a bit overwhelming. Just stay patient. spend a little time, just let yourself be quiet. It's really important. And then when we take it a step further, one of the really effective things I've seen around managing food, so in the reset, you're on that 5-day program. It's all pretty regimented. Once you're done that, if you still have weight you want to lose, you start moving into what we call the transform phase. So you start eating regular meals and adding those things in. And that's sometimes where it's difficult for people. It's hard for them to have a little bit of regular food, but not all the bad stuff or too much of the stuff. So what I talk to them about is conscious eating. And that is doing nothing except eating while you're eating. How many people eat in front of the TV? I think probably more than that up there. How many people eat in front of the computer? At your desk, right? What we do when we do that is we are completely checked out to what our bodies are feeling. We have no idea what's going on. We don't know when we're full. We don't know when we don't like something. We don't know when we're kind of not enjoying that particular food or it's kind of hitting us a little bit wrong because we're totally checked out. Conscious eating, really important. I have been attempting to make my desk a food-free zone. It's a little challenging. Water's fine, liquids are good, but food-free zone. You will be surprised at how your intake of food decreases and your enjoyment of it increases. So a really easy little thing to share with people. And then the other piece, this is when you kind of get into that longer term. So the first couple weeks have gone by, and now you're moving in. It was really exciting at first. Everybody was super on it. Everybody was on the Facebook page. Things are kind of dwindling off now. It's getting a little quieter. What do you do around that time to stick with that commitment? The next piece that I do with Fierce Vibrant You is incremental change, exponential results. That's really important because sometimes in the middle of something, when we are moving towards a dream or a desire, the only thing that's going to get us there is our commitment to that dream. And sometimes it seems really slow. Some of us, perhaps myself, my husband sometimes says, I don't have a lot of patience for these things. What is it? Instant gratification. And it's true. Even when other people think it's happening fast, it's still too slow for me. So it's hard in the middle of it for me to just keep taking another little step and another little step, because what I can guarantee you is if you do not stop, you keep taking one little step after another little step, you will reach your dream. Or you will reach something even better that you discovered along the way. Somebody I really, really appreciate, her name is Danielle Laporte, she writes some great stuff. She said, often the transformation, the magic happens on the way to your goal. Because unless you started taking those steps, you would never have discovered those things that made you realize that in fact, this was your thing, and then you go for it. So it's really important, you have to start taking them and you need to stick with it. During that time where it's a little bit hard, you can use some other tools that are going to help you stay with your commitment, keep you energized. And that's the last tenet in what I have put together on my up-and-coming website. And that is live, laugh, learn, and love. First of all, every single day, connect into something that makes you feel alive. Keep yourself in the game. We spend so much of our time being dulled down, squashed, doing what we should do. What if we were looking at our dreams and we made sure that every day, maybe that dream's not quite here yet, but what could I connect to today that will keep me in touch with that feeling of being alive? And that's something that Miriam actually knows a lot about. It's because when we do Power of Attraction, when we're having a feeling that's a great positive feeling, that attracts stuff to us. It attracts the like thing to us. So it's really key in reaching your dream, empowering yourself through the time it takes to get there. And then one of the other ones, of course, laugh. Oh, for goodness sakes, life is not so serious. We need to laugh. I worked in pediatric ICU. There was a lot of tragic things that happened. And there was probably not that one day that went by that I didn't share laughter with family and parents, no matter what was going on. Because we have that capacity. We can hold all those emotions. And it's really key. So laughter, awesome. And then the last one I want to talk about is keeping your brain alive. We need to stay alive in here. We need to feed our big brains. There is so much we can take in, and it is so remarkable. So continue to feed it. Give it all sorts of things to work with. And that's what stuff like this is.